Hey everybody, it's Alan Lowe, and I'm here with the I Told You Show. Today we're going to be discussing Alphen bonds, and I have two great guests in the studio, so you're going to want to stay tuned. All right, we have two great guests in the studio today, and since it's a man and a woman, we'll go woman first.
Oh.
You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jeannie Duarte.
How are you doing today, Janie?
Doing well. My nerves are rattled.
Don't be rattled. This is just a nice conversation that we're going to have. And you're in here because you're kind of getting famous now. You brought your name out at the city council meeting. But speaking of city council meeting, we have another guest in studio today.
Hey everyone, it's Ed Danko, and thank you for having me, Alan.
Oh, Ed, the last time we did something like this was when we were doing the Trump. Yeah, so it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. So welcome in.
Thank you.
So before we get into everything, tell me what you think about the election.
Well, I just want to thank all of those folks that came out and voted, especially those that came out and voted for me. We lost by a mere 39 votes.
Wow.
But I'm over it. I'm moving forward, and I'm not going to stop fighting for you folks out there. So I'm still in this game, and I'm still going to press forward. And Alphen bonds are the next battlefield.
Yeah, we have to defeat that. And I can't believe what happened at the last city council meeting. It was something else.
Well, first, I want to thank Jeannie for seconding my motion to take Alphen bonds off of the ballot in November.
Let's play that for a second.
Should.
Yeah, let's play that.
That was good.
Okay.
Well,
No second, the motion fails.
shame
So now
on
move on.
you all for deceiving the public.
All right, we move
Shame
on to
you,
our
Mayor Alphen.
Vice Mayor.
Shame on
Are
you.
you going to disrupt the meeting? Because I will stop the meeting, give you time, or ask you to leave. Either way.
Shame on you.
Okay. We now move on to the presentation for the final proposed budget for all appropriated funds. So,
Doesn't count.
ma'am, you're a member of the public, no?
I am the public, I'm sorry.
That's the problem.
I would not be sitting in the right spot, that's my first time.
That's what it is. Home spot.
You're not part of the voting process on city council.
We the people.
Read the charter.
It doesn't matter. You're acting like we're not even here. I support them.
Ladies, when you're ready.
You guys are voting on something that you...
Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to leave the meeting in a minute if you can't follow the agenda.
You're rude. Let them speak.
Ladies, please proceed.
So that was you yelling out and seconding Ed's motion.
You know,
Somebody had to.
it was the funniest thing because that was my very first town council meeting.
No.
After everything I've done, I've been here for 8 years, and I'm like, I'm ready to pay it forward. I'm ready to start going to town council meetings. I'm ready to join COP with the sheriff's department. I want to be part of the community. I'm done with all the remodels, done with all the blah. Now I got time on my hands. I want to do something. So I went there thinking, I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn about what's
Maybe
going
you
on.
should think about running for council.
Maybe she should.
Maybe she should, don't you
Yeah.
think?
I want to thank you for seconding that motion. And, I lost by just 39 votes. Our ex-lame duck mayor, Alphen, lost by a landslide. It was anybody but Alphen. And it's his arrogant attitude that you saw that he displayed towards you, and he displays towards the public, or when he hears anyone on council like myself object to anything that he's in favor of, he wonders why he got squashed.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Yeah,
What can I say? What an idiot. And his buddy Clufus right behind him. Total landslide. Out on his butt.
Well,
So-
if you heard Clufus in that clip that we just played, when Janie mentioned, I second the motion, and he said you can't, and Alphen chimed in, and then, she said, well, we're the people, and he says that's the problem.
Yeah,
So,
that's the
you know,
problem.
that's the
Too
problem.
bad those-
And they were literally talking as if we were not even in the room. And I was like, I was thinking, I'm going to be able to meet the mayor. I'm going to be able to shake hands, get a selfie with him. I don't know the mayor. I didn't even know you. We did business, but I never met you up until today, face to face.
Yeah. But, and I appreciate the business that we did together. Thank you.
Those pesky
Well-
people.
Yeah.
Yes,
Why
well,
are
he
they
put
here
out-
at our
he-
meetings?
He put out a podcast, and I watched the podcast. I'm like, yeah, I think I want to go and
Thank you.
learn more.
Yeah.
And now
More
it
people
rolls.
need to do that.
They do. They
Yeah.
do. And wow, I feel embarrassed for that being my first. I've been here 8 years, and I'm ashamed of myself right now for that being my first council meeting ever.
Well, you came on strong the first time round, so that's good.
It was never my intention to speak up until I saw what was going on, and I'm here out of fear. Not fear for being on the podcast. I'm fearful for what I saw that day, and that was just listening. When I listened to the wording, I'm like, whoa, listen to this guy. Let's listen him out. Don't cut him off. He has something to say, and we need to hear it. We, the
Right,
people, need to
right.
hear it.
He was desperately trying to cut you off.
Desperately.
I think there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know. But when I look at the westward expansion and all of the potential for that property, and I look at our ex-lame duck mayor Alphen, and realize he's a real estate broker, what do you think might connect there? I'm not making any accusations.
No.
But
Cha-ching.
we're not stupid. Yeah,
Right.
cha-ching.
Cha-ching,
So
yeah.
that's why I think he just tried to cut me off so quick, because he's so nervous about this.
Over and over.
And he should
Deliberately.
be nervous about this because people are not stupid.
No.
And this language on that ballot is so deceptive, so misleading, so dishonest. You have no idea. It was read at City Council. I believe Pontieri read it. And I asked everybody in the audience, do you understand this? Raise your hand. Not one hand went up.
It's
Right.
one sentence.
Yeah.
It's
You have a copy
It's
of it.
one sentence that's
Please read it.
it's described. It looks like a paragraph, but it's one sentence, one period. I'm going to attempt to read this without screwing up. Even Pontieri could not read it, and
She's a lawyer.
she's a
She
lawyer.
keeps reminding us of
And
that.
I think I know who wrote this. But she couldn't even read it herself. So let me attempt this, okay? Shall, that's a question right there. Shall Article 6 of the Charter be amended by removing provisions 3E related to fiscal, see, I'm already losing breath, relating to fiscal character, authorizing that limit the city's ability to enter into public-private partnerships, comma, have the ability to address growth by having future residents contribute to infrastructure costs. There's another comma. Sorry, that's not a period. Respond to emergencies and use available financial instruments, plural there, instruments, including comma, but not limited to comma bonds. Okay, so thank you, Alphen, for suggesting that I read the charter. Okay, so I took the original and then I took the proposed. I dissected it. Oh, Jesus Christ. So there's a lot of moving parts to this one sentence that is just kind of hidden. I don't know. It's described like a paragraph, but there's a lot of moving parts to this, and I'd like to go over those.
We will. And Ed, you originally voted in favor of it.
I did vote in favor of this. I thought this was going to be for infrastructure in the city of Palm Coast, not the westward expansion.
Right.
And we have some infrastructure issues. As we grow, it's hard to catch up. It's hard to keep up. It's a cat and mouse sort of game.
Sure.
And, we do get impact fees paid by builders, and they pay a lot of impact fees. People should understand that.
Actually, you've maxed them out at this
Yeah,
stage,
we've
right?
maxed them out.
By state statute.
So, we are going to grow. People, I wish I could tell you we're not going to grow, but I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to grow. And there's going to be some pain in that growth. And you're going to see more traffic, but you're going to get more great shops and jobs for your kids and your grandkids. And, that's what happens. America grows. That's what
Right.
we do. We're America. And we don't stand still. And, that is what it is. But the thing is, I thought this was for Palm Coast, what I will call 1.0, not Palm Coast 2.0, which is the westward expansion. And I then attended a meeting with Rayonier and an attorney for Rayonier. And learned that they really need this to build a stadium. $90 million plus. And they have a company that wants to build it and run it, but they're not going to build it and run it unless we, the people of Palm Coast, pay for it. They expect us to cough up $90 million in bonds so they can come build the stadium, and maybe it succeeds, maybe it fails.
Yeah.
No guarantee.
But either way,
And who's moving into that stadium? I don't think the Miami Dolphins. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys or New York Giants aren't thinking about coming here. So what are they going to get? Some minor league team if they're lucky? Some traveling tennis or something? Pickleball? I don't know. But I don't know how you're going to pay that $90+ million back.
And whether it succeeds or fails, we're still on the hook for the $90 million.
Yeah. Future, what does it say? Future residents? That's your kids and your grandkids and their grandkids.
Right. Even though they tried to deny that at the meeting when they were saying, no, and they called you dangerous. And,
Pontieri. Yeah. Tax and Spend Teresa was calling me dangerous?
Yeah.
No. Putting this city in debt to that type of large amount is what's dangerous, Miss Pontieri, if you're listening.
Yeah, and they're removing the cap. So this could just be the start of the debt. It could go to the sky.
Any 3 council people. You got 5 council people, including the mayor. You only need 3 votes to pass something. Any 3 people on a future council could put us in debt.
That's dangerous.
And that's what's dangerous.
Exactly.
And that's why these Alphen bonds need to be stopped. It is just a steal by this mayor. He is stealing your children's future, your grandchildren's future, and their money.
And with the wording that it is now, that's the way it's going to the ballot, right?
Yes. Nothing tells you in this wording that we're removing the 36-month payback period.
Right.
Because right now, we had bonds, we could only go to $15 million, and you only have 36 months to get them paid back. That's going away. The amount is going away. I think the founding fathers, for lack of a better word, of Palm Coast, had it right the first time. Let's make this a small amount so this city doesn't go in debt and go bankrupt.
So we don't get buried.
That's what they want to change, and it's all for the sake of a company that makes billions and billions of dollars, and some wealthy attorneys, and maybe some shady politicians. What they want to do basically is profit off of our loss.
Yeah. Well, the resistance that they showed against just making it more transparent for the wording that goes on the ballot was astounding. The fight that they put up against you just to change, not to take it off the ballot, but just to change the wording was eye-opening.
We could have changed the wording right then and there, but our city attorney, came up with this BS excuse that, it's got to go out and come back in 2 weeks, and we'll miss the date for it to go on the ballot. Even in the end, I don't know if you caught it, but even in the end, Pontieri said, finally, she was not opposed to changing the language.
Yes.
And she had some language that would have cleared this up. And I saw the same language that she was emailed the language, and so was I. And the language is very simple. It was going to include the fact that we were eliminating the $15 million and eliminating the 36 months. That would have made this very honest.
A simple comma can change the language of a sentence.
Yeah.
This one sentence, that's a paragraph. I don't know what it is. This one sentence can literally destroy Palm Coast. Anybody in their right mind who's not already vested as a homeowner or business owner in Palm Coast, anyone in their right mind will never want to move to Palm Coast.
Yeah.
And actually, this can become a ghost town at the end of this. If you really understood the wording of this, it's dangerous. This is a very, very dangerous.
So it's not you, Ed, that's dangerous.
No, it's not me.
It's the wording
and
that we
this
have.
has
here.
happened
It's the wording.
It's happened to other communities. I think it's Nassau County, Long Island. They sold an enormous amount of bonds to build a
This is bigger than just bonds.
public-private partnership jail, I believe it was. And they didn't get the crime wave that they needed, and this thing went broke, and the citizens were left holding the bag.
They don't even just want to sell us bonds, but they want to use available financial instruments. That's plural. Those instruments are CDs, bank deposits, loans, mutual funds, real estate, and stocks. So they want what's available right now, and they want to ask you, hey, buy bonds. And guess what?
Alphen bonds.
Alphen
bonds.
junk bonds. They're total
Alphen junk bonds.
Alphen junk bonds. And guess what? We're going to build a stadium out of all things. So if you look at that, in the wording, it's shall article blah blah by removing provisions related to fiscal contracting authority. Historically, that's mass transits, that's airports, that's not stadiums and commercial development. That's something huge that's for our infrastructure that, say like Benel wants to do, be the cruise ships of trains. They want to do travels all the way to the Keys. They want to do beds on their trains. They want some elaborate thing to, hey, let's, create a, God, I can't even speak right now. Oh my God. Let's create something that people can enjoy traveling, overnight stays, on a train. That's going to take more than 36 months to accomplish. And of course, it's going to take more than $15 million probably to achieve that. And something like that, okay. But,
But then we'd ask that be put on a ballot and
Exactly.
identified specifically for
that is
issue.
a very specific
Yeah.
thing that people need to understand here. They're not only selling you these Alphen junk bonds, they're not only removing the cap and the time period, but they are actually, and this is so important, taking away your right to vote on it.
Yeah.
All right? Because if they want to do something like that, it should be on a ballot every single time. Well, now it's going to be up to 3 out of 5 council members. Who knows who those 3 might be in the future?
and this can
we've had
probably
a-
eliminate future voting, period.
Yeah, we've had a mix of good and bad council people. Just in the short
Yep.
time I was there. And I don't need to mention anybody's name, but you might think of this person when you go to Walmart. I'll leave it at that. But the bottom line is you could get 3 council people who don't have a clue what they're doing. And you don't have the right. You don't have the right to say, I want it on a ballot, because they now will have the authority. So they're not just taking your money. They're not just stealing the future of your children and your grandchildren. They are taking away your rights. And that's where the real danger is.
And we could our future
exactly.
mayor could be a guy that has a pressure cleaning company.
Well, you never know.
Doesn't know
I hope not.
what's going on. No, I hope not as well.
But that's another story. But I am grateful that both of these candidates for mayor, both Norris and Cornelia, are opposed to Alphen bonds.
Yes.
And they both have publicly spoken out on it. I heard Cornelia on the radio yesterday voicing her opposition to it. And I saw Norris did a video voicing his opposition to it. So I'm glad that's not an issue between them. There
Yeah.
are other issues between them, and they'll have to work that out before November. But at least they're unified on this. Now, I am concerned that our new Chamber of Commerce, which I've supported in the past, wants these bonds. I think this is a big mistake by this chamber. But again,
Yeah.
who runs the chamber?
You know-
the attorney that represents Rainier and the westward expansion.
Yeah. That's odd.
Isn't that odd? It's a coincidence, right?
Total incident.
Yes.
It's not just the wording on here. It's the fact that this is that's attempting to be put on the ballot in the first place. The wording can be put all at once, but even if they get the wording correct, it's the proposal of what they're asking for that is outrageous. So, they're literally asking us to shut up and take away our votes. We're not allowed to speak anymore.
Yes, you're just the annoying public.
Yeah.
Go
They're just
away.
the annoying public
the
that they
public.
don't listen to. And I watched Alphen, roll his eyes while people were talking, and I'm like, wow, you have some nerve. I don't think I want to get a selfie with you.
And that was your first meeting
That
impression.
was my very first impression.
Well,
I was like, oh,
Again,
all right.
there's a reason our lame duck ex-mayor Alphen was tossed out on his butt overwhelmingly. And as I knocked on doors during this campaign, and I knocked on 5,000 doors, I heard lots of different things. You know, I'm upset with growth, or I don't like this, or taxes are too high. But the one universal message, the first thing that people said was anybody but Alfred.
Yeah.
And that was the theme. And
Yeah.
obviously the public spoke. And it's anybody but very loud.
Could we go over the
You know.
the charter language that reads, the original charter language?
Yeah, we can do it. Let's do it quick so we can wrap up here shortly.
Okay.
But we can have a part 2 in the future. So
Oh, yeah. So it says, unless authorized by the electors of the city, which are us, the voters, we the people, at a duly held a referendum election. That's voting, Unless authorized by the electors of the city at a duly held referendum election, the council shall not enter into lease purchase contracts or any other unfunded multi-year contract, the repayment of which extends in excess of 36 months or exceeds $15 million. Whoever wrote this here also put in another way, the city may not borrow more than $15 million or any sum that would take longer than 3 years to repay back without the voters' approval.
Very simple.
and
And that's the rights they want to take away from you. So I urge you, everyone out there, we're going to be talking about this more and more and more as we get closer to November. Learn about this. Talk to your neighbors about this. Put up signs in your yard that say vote no on Alphen bonds. Make up your own signs. Put them in your yard. Show your friends and neighbors that you do not support this. And we cannot, if we let this happen, if we let them fool the public. And look, a lot of folks are busy with their life. They've got kids to raise. They go to work. They take care of their home. They don't get involved in city government like you. First time,
trying to.
a lot of folks could just see this on the ballot and just say sure, not even knowing what it is.
Confusion is the source of evil.
Yes, it is. So we
Mastery.
need to get the word out there. And I want to thank you, Alan, for doing these podcasts. And I'll be happy to come back anytime. And this is just the other thing I just want to mention quickly is they also want to raise your taxes again this year.
Oh,
I have-
absolutely.
I have been-
Let's raise more on the bad taxes and stuff. Yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
fighting for the full millage rate rollback. And, I said to our city manager, present me a budget with the full millage rate rollback. We need to cut $2 million more out of this budget. Our city manager was like, well, I need some direction. I need some, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you haven't offered up a single layoff. You haven't offered up a single cut. You want to hire, a dozen or so more people after you told me we weren't going to hire any new hires this year. I mean, come on. What direction do you need? I can't micromanage every one of your departments.
Yeah.
We're like a board.
Her job.
We're like a board of directors on a major corporation. She's our CEO. She has her vice presidents, which are her department heads. A board of directors don't go in and tell you how many paper clips each department needs. I mean, how many pens do you need? How many employees should you have? That's up to her. And I finally said, are you the city manager or are you the union shop steward? Because you're just protecting your friends at this
And they
point.
want to use available financial instruments. And they want to sell you. So they want to sell you bonds. So they want to use what they already took. They want to take what they're offering you as far as bonds, and then in the future, if you use that stadium, if you use those commercial buildings or whatever they are trying to offer, if they even do that, we don't know where it's going to, because our future residents are going to also contribute to the response of emergencies. Who's in charge of those emergencies and what those responses are, and whether or not they stay in Palm Coast? There's a lot missing in here.
I think we need to dig into this a little further.
Holy cow.
And I appreciate you guys coming on. Mayor Alphen, you're also willing, if you're willing to come on, the invitation is open.
Lame duck ex-mayor Alphen.
Wow.
Let's get the title right.
Okay. But if you want to come in and give your side, or anybody else on council wants to come in, the door is open.
Maybe
Come in and
Pontieri, Clufus, and Alphen could show up. I mean, there's three
with
chairs.
3 chairs. Yeah,
You know?
sure.
We're going to have security at the door
everybody
there
has.
checking them before they come in.
But everybody, I'd like to thank you for watching this today. This is obviously a very important subject that we must conquer before it's too late. So, as always, this podcast is done at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio here. It's open to anybody that wants to come in and use it. So I have an open invitation to anybody that wants to. Please contact me. And thank again for Ed and Janie for
My
coming in and doing
pleasure.
this today.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.